So we met at Star Search UK. He came down and he was an artist. And what I did admire about you is that you used to get on the train all the way from Birmingham, Wolverhampton, and you used to come down and you used to show up and you used to perform no matter what happened, and you showed that you were a great actor, and you really gave me that vibe, like house party vibe back in the day, kid and play. And I love that about you, that you just don't care what's going on. You just show your true, authentic self. So really want to touch on that you're doing a bit of property at the moment. You're a property deal sourcer.
That's correct, and,
and you've actually joined my Forex team. So you did a bit of Forex with me as well.
I'm MetaTrader 5, thanks for and then I got the sign up on that.
That was on Pro Trader, so PU Prime all the way. We love that one, as well as I see that you're doing quite a lot to give back to the community.
That's correct,
which I think that is something which is very admirable for somebody who had a lot of adversity in their life.
That's right,
So definitely let's touch on how Birmingham, or how shall I say, the whole journey has been for you from you've been, around.
So should we start from the start, right from the beginning?
Oh, were you born in Wolverhampton?
Yeah, so I was born and bred in Wolverhampton. Did a lot of traveling as I was growing up. Been to America a lot, went to Canada, Brazil, all around Europe. So I was quite privileged to travel and see different parts of the world. And then I had a love for music when I got into my 20s, and I met a really famous guy from where he was looking after 50 Cent, and this was in London actually. I did a performance, and this was by chance actually. He seen me perform, he really loved it, and he had this company called Artist Auditions, where he looks for supporting acts to support established names like Chris Brown, T.I., 50 Cent, Busta Rhymes, and we got talking, and he says, you know what, I like your performance, and you put on shows. He puts on shows all over the world. So I just said, okay, it's a no-brainer. Let's exchange numbers, and then we talk on WhatsApp.
That easy?
That easy, yeah. Because just off the base of the performance, we got talking, and at first, a lot of people were saying, nah, this sounds too good to be true. How can he know all these? And then why is he talking to you? Like,
you can't really listen to what people have to say nowadays.
You get a lot of them people, but I thought, no, I'm going to do it. And he said, I've got an opportunity for you to go out to Brazil. And this is when I was 26, to go and support Ja Rule in Brazil.
Did you go to Brazil?
I did, yeah.
And supported Ja Rule there?
Yeah, and I had so much people say, don't do it, don't go. Brazil's dangerous. It's a scam, don't do it. And my mom and dad even says, no, Brazil's dangerous.
We have a criminal lawyer in the building. It would be insane for us not to get his take on everything that has been going on with Chris. So there has been a lot of controversy about what has happened with you in the last, year and a bit. So I want you to just share and let us know, and the listeners, what has happened. And, Vinay, obviously, my take does not really stand up in the, House of Lords. But we have a man here who can, really fight for someone's case. And I think Vinay's the type of person that he's going to take you for face value, and he's just going to be completely honest. And I think you can see that about him.
Just from how he is and kind of person he is. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So let's talk about what happened, please.
Yeah, so, I got caught up in a lot of negative situations. There was a group of people that I mixed with, which I wish I didn't mix with them, got involved into a negative situation, and I ended up in HMP Cardiff in remand for 4 months.
Okay, so let's just quickly go back to what you said. You got mixed up with a few people.
Yeah.
Just want to touch on what actually happened.
Basically, I was getting threats from these group of these people saying to, collect some bank cards. I didn't know who the people were. I didn't know that, and I was thought, you know what? I'm doing this from my safety at the time, because these people that I knew, I don't know what they're capable of at the time. So, so I just said, got involved into it, ended up, collecting these cards, and then got pulled over by the federals, and then, the situation where they just kept me in a remand in Wales.
So I think, a lot of the time people do get themselves in situations from being with the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
But definitely, if you're at a point where you actually went and you collected some documents from some people, and the police actually saw you with the documents, how were the police notified?
I think it was like tracking. It was more like tracking of a car, basically tracking of the car.
Surveillance.
So yeah, like I think it's more like surveillance. Yeah, so it's like that's how they knew it, because I was driving for a bit while I was in Wales.
And it was Wales. It happened.
Yeah. I was in Wales, and
they're very strict in Wales.
Yeah, they were really strict, and then they were following me actually for I think it was a good 5 minutes. And I was literally heading back to Birmingham, and I was thinking, this feels a bit off. So I thought, let me take a right on the country road, and it takes a right behind me, and I'm thinking, yeah, these are definitely following me, like, you know. And then next thing you know, they pulled into another 2 pulled in from the other countryside, 3 on motorbikes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is that how they do it, Vinay?
Yeah, well,
from surveillance, and they grabbed me and it says sort of like, you know, like, and I was like, whoa.
And you were by yourself?
Yeah, literally just by myself. Yeah.
Wales, but how did you get all the way to Wales?
Well, basically, I was speaking to the group of the people, and they told me to get, you know, I was speaking with them to collect some cards, basically, from Wales, basically, and that's how the situation occurred. But I had the tracking from surveillance on the car, like, so it was like tracking that they had for a while.
Okay, and whose car was it? Was it the actual people's car or your car?
It was the people's car, basically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So the car was hot anyway.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. So and then they they grabbed me, and then I ended up with the interview, and then I ended up in remand basically for 4 months until they find out what exactly went on, like, you know, who are these people that sent you to do this, and they were asking all these questions and stuff. Yeah.
And you pleaded guilty. Okay, so you put your hands up and said, listen, I've done this, and I want to do my time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've done the time, and now you are trying to make a...
It wasn't a case of, okay, pleaded, done the time. It's basically they held me in remand in Wales for 4 months. And then when it got to court, they released me on a supervisional release, basically, so they can basically just to see how you're getting on. And then since when I come out of then, I was showing like my is it probation in it? Probation, what I'm getting up to, and he was so impressed with what I was doing, and he says, it really is, you must have been really hanging with the wrong people, because you're telling me you're giving back to the community, you're doing all these shows, you're doing all this. So, you know, he must have said to me, yes, you must be hanging with the wrong people, because I'm thinking you just need to cut ties with them. And then as soon as I came out, I said, yep, cut ties with them and get straight onto this. Yeah. Okay,
and there was a sum of money that got taken from these people.
Yes.
And did they get repaid for all of that?
Yes, they were compensated. They got their money back, and you know, and they since think everyone got their money back, you know, for the situation. Yeah.
Okay, so as we've got Vinay here, I just want to get your take on this. What you think about this?
Yeah, I think because I deal with people who are accused of crimes, defendants, and what you said, Chris, is absolutely there's a defence as well for them, like duress, people forcing you to do something, or it can even go extreme as something called modern day slavery, where you're almost made to do these things.
Modern day slavery, is that a thing in court?
Yes, that's if people are made, and they're, you know, they're usually in conditions where they've got no money, they're housed in their location, their passports are seized, they are basically modern day slavery, and they're made to do certain things. Or duress is where someone forces you to do something under threat of violence or serious harm to you or your family members. Now, whatever you did, and for those who don't know, remand is where you're kept in prison until your case court date comes forward. So you spent those months. That is not actually a prison sentence. You were never given a prison sentence.
No, basically.
But you did go to prison.
No. So basically, I was just held in remand.
You were just held in remand.
For
and that's it. And you know, like you said, after you serve a period in remand, you are subject to something called post-sentence supervision, where you are every week you're in touch with probation officers.
That's correct. Yeah.
And they've given you positive feedback that you've changed your life around, got your head, you know, out of that situation. Yeah. And I think what you're doing now is absolutely, you're like an ideal person of rehabilitation. Yeah. There is no doubt about it. What you're doing, and you know, repeat offending, that hasn't happened. No. You're in touch with your probation officer. So positive from my side all the way, from legal perspective.
And
there was one thing I needed to clear as well, is I was diagnosed with autism from 1995 as well. So basically that situation, you know, they kind of like, they took advantage of the situation. So just to put it out there as well.
I do find that when I do talk to you, you are very much in your own zone,
Yes.
which can be an advantage
Yes.
and a disadvantage for
Yes.
someone if they want to take advantage of you.
Yeah.
So I have seen that, Chris. But what I really want to touch on, as Vinay is a criminal lawyer, which, you know, for me, just having you on the Sebrina Spencer show is a great advantage, and having Chris here today. Do you see this a lot in...
Absolutely, and just
law?
like you said, so when it comes to, you know, for example, having autism, having a mental health, it's something where vulnerability is there, so people can take advantage and people look out for that. That has a big impact on any kind of sentence as well. And I think, Chris, that's why you were, as we'd say in the legal terms, I'd say to the judge, you were the fall guy. You weren't the mastermind of this whole enterprise. There was surveillance, it was between two cities, so I can see why the police, they have been probably surveillancing you for a period. And you're the person who's, you know, if something goes wrong, he's the fall guy, and you've been taken advantage of. And I think, you know, whatever happens for the best. That life is behind you now. You've paid your debt to society, in my opinion. You've been in remand for 4 months. And you're still subject to the...
And during that time, I was just reading books, you know, just working on fitness, you know.
And getting
just,
big, I can see.
healthy as well.
I can see that.
I see with me, I turn a negative into a positive. So for
amazing.
me, like even them times, I know just keep out of those negative people that were in there and just focus on what I need to do. And I wrote my business plan as well, what I was going to do when I come out. So I wrote like a 10-year business plan, a 4-year business plan, the targets where I want to go. So if anything, it's kind of helped me in a way. So because if I was on the outside,
Trudeau said that
on the outside, I wouldn't have probably wrote a business plan. So when you're sitting there and you got a lot of time on your hands, it makes you think, okay, what am I going to do when I get released? So this I start, right, I'm just going to do this, going to get invest into this and see what we're going to do. So if anything, it kind of helps me in a way.
You know, I'll be honest with you, because as we have Vinay here, I really want to touch on how do the youth of the UK get out of this? Because this is something you're seeing a lot, right?
Yes, that's right. And this is why police, when they do their operations, they're looking for, you know, kind of gang-related instances where people are part of gang is a community. You're in a community. And you know, an area makes a big difference where you're growing up. I mean, like I said, I'm born in East London. You can see these things happening.
You're not a product of your environment.
You're not a product, but you're there, you're susceptible to it. It's there.
You're
and
right.
if you know, under the circumstances, especially if there is any kind of you know, autism and things like that, vulnerability. But what you just said there is you know, you're making, you know, for example, what Sebrina touched upon, you know, Malcolm X, Mahatma Gandhi, they all went to you know, Malcolm X, but you know, people who have done something significant.
Definitely Malcolm
you know,
X.
and that's because society the way
Marcus
it is.
Garvey, all of them.
But you know, getting yourself away from these situations, some people feel they can't get away, especially when we see domestic violence. So they say they just can't. But it's sometimes it's not easy. And you know, when I meet a client, I never look at because some people say, well, how do you do what you do? Because your case is very different. You meet some people who have done, you know, accused of some horrific crime. And I say, forget the crime, look at the person and what they're going through. And I've got a job to do as well. So if I was representing you, you've got everything going in your favour. The fact that you're taking positive strides, you're making a business plan. In prison, most people are complaining why they're here and how bad the system is. Chris, you done the opposite.
There was a lot of them. I just kept my distance from them.
That's it then.
I just what they've done. They're no good to me. Like that's it.
And I'll be honest with you. As soon as he came out, I did speak to Chris, and he was like, I want to invest in Forex. I want to start trading. I want to start making money, and he made some really good money. And what I will say to you as well, Vinay, is as a criminal lawyer, do you feel like the mum and dad have a part to play? Let me just explain my side, because I know when it comes to Kiki, you and Rupa are going to be on ball. So I do believe that I want your honest opinion, what you think about the parents when it comes to these situations happening to their children.
Well, Sebrina, you first and foremost, I pray and hope that I do the best for our children. We all do. But whenever I see, especially in youths, under 18s, whether early adults, you know, early 20s, whatever, and I always think to myself, what is the situation at home? And 9 times out of 10, Sebrina, the situation at home is not great. Maybe their parents have divorced, or maybe the father's got history, there's domestic violence. There is something going on where the parenting, for whatever reason, I'm not blaming the parents, maybe it's their situation they were in. They couldn't help it. you know, whatever the situation is, but a parenting thing is such a big influence on the children, because at the end of the day, our parents, we don't do what they say, we do what they do.
Yeah.
And if we've grown around families who are into certain situations, whatever they may be, we are going to emulate that. We're going to think that's the norm. Oh, that's how things are done. So that is absolutely, you couldn't, you know, you can't hit the nail more on the head. It's the parents usually, whatever's gone on there. Because the children, you're just a reflection of your parents anyway, aren't we? Really and truly.
We really are, and it's sad to say, but I know that Chris's mum and dad are still together.
Yeah, they've been married since 1987. Yeah.
And they are a lovely Caribbean family.
That's correct.
So, you know, it's a bit like so above everything. Like, why did this happen to you, Chris? How did you meet these people?
Okay, so it was, where do I start? Yeah,
No,
it's a big one.
question.
Yeah, no, it is a good question. It is a good question.
No, I've got a few questions, so
Yeah.
I just wanted to just get to the core of it, so then we can just end it today. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. So how I met them is I met them in Leicester, basically, and I was introduced by, there was one girl I was checking at the time, and she just says, "Oh, do you want to make some money?" basically, and I was just like, "Okay, how?" And she says, "Oh, this guy, he knows how to do it." I did, with me personally, at that time, this is going about 5-6 a while back. So this is going a while back, and at the time, I didn't think much of it. I just thought, yeah, I'm pretty low on money. Let me, who's this person? So, you know, so I thought, okay, she introduced me to this guy, and he started talking about it, about all this, you know, card fraud and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I thought, you know what, I want to focus on this. I want to cut ties with these people. I don't want nothing to do with them. So, and then as soon as I come out, cut ties with them and spoken to them since.
So you're being very accountable. I think that is how you rehabilitate yourself. You're being accountable, and how you're giving back as well is you're doing a lot of charity work. Okay.
Yes, I work with schools. Yeah. So basically, since I've been out, I've been working with. I did a school performance in Birmingham, where the head teacher, he loves the music. The kids love the music.
Yeah.
So I give back to them, do the workshops. And there's another promoter that I had a good friendship with as well, where he does the One Fest, August the 29th.
That's my birthday, guys. Same day as Michael
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
So just got to plug that in.
yeah. So August 29th, he had a lot of that press about what I did, so he knew. So he said, because I know you as a person, Chris, and you're not really that type of person, I want you to do something, you know, to give back to the community, just to show, hey, you know, this is the thing of the past. I'm turning my life around. So he says, come and do community work at the One Fest, 29th of August. You know, and it's giving back, and you can bring some of the kids as well from the school, which you know, they like the performance as well. So I said, yeah, I'll come and do that. You know, I'll actually come there and I'll give back as well.
I love that.
So, yeah, so that's why, you know, it's important to do things like that, giving back.
It's so important, and there's law-abiding citizens that don't even do that. To say that you have broke the law, you put your hands up, you said I've done it, and now you want, you know, to give back something to the community.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to touch on this because you know has been a lot of controversial stuff being said about Chris, and I've seen people jumping on his page and they've been saying stuff underneath, and you know, by the luck of God, we have a criminal lawyer here we're going to ask his final thought on the whole situation, because I don't want the whole show to be about this, but I do want to clear it up, because I'm in a group and a lady put something in the group, and I feel like everybody in life deserves a second chance. If you are willing to put your hands up and say I was wrong and be accountable, then who are we to, you know, persecute anybody? We are not God. We are not the creator. We are not the universe that can say what's right or wrong. We are human beings that we know, and as human beings, we are not perfect. We are going to make mistakes, but it's how you make it right. So definitely,
Totally agree,
I believe what the guy who is doing the One Fest said about you as well.
Yeah.
Because when I see you, I do see a ray of light. I normally can tell when somebody is a bit on the other side, and nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do, but that's not where I want to be, and I don't want to be associated with people like that. So you coming here today all the way from Birmingham, or Wolverhampton should I say, to clear your name, to come on the show, thank you very much.
I appreciate
and
that. Yeah.
From a criminal lawyer, I want to hear your take on everything.
Well, you know, it's really interesting, Chris, because what you just said there is, so for example, I'm a duty solicitor as well, which means I give advice to people who are going to court but they haven't got their own lawyer.
Oh wow.
And I actually coach them to say, listen, when you go there, because you're going to go there by yourself, there's two things you need to do, and you're doing it already. Which is number one, please don't say, oh, it didn't happen, I didn't do it, it's their fault, they made me do it. If you say that, that's going to look bad on you.
Yeah, 100%.
Admitting what you've done, put your hands up.
Yeah.
And then obviously remorse, which you're doing automatically. So from a criminal lawyer's perspective, you are doing everything right on your path to rehabilitation. You have been, clearly. And, you know, and another thing, this is maybe not law, but Kevin Trudeau, who spent time in prison, he said when he got there, he goes, the number of inmates, he goes, 99%. If you ask them, what you in for? He goes, weren't me. I didn't do it. No, it's not my fault. And he goes, I was the only one who said, I did what I did, and I'm here to do my time. And he was doing what you did, Chris, doing learning, studying, and that positive mental attitude which you got just emanating from you. I think there's nothing more, or, you know, if you look at the justice system, what they're trying to do, you are the role model, ideal citizen. But I do want to ask you one question, and I feel sorry for people who find themselves in positions where something's happened, whatever's happened. What is the effect on people who know about this? What do they think or feel about you, knowing that there's been an incident?
No, you know what it is. A lot of people know me like as this positive person. So a lot of people say, you know, okay, you got involved, you mixed with the wrong people. It's a you know, you made a bad mistake in your life, basically. But a lot of people are working with me at the moment. You know. Again, there are a few people, you know, where okay, they're distant, so I don't blame them. They know that's their own decision. But with me, I've still got the circle of tight friends that I have, and we've got events that we're putting on together, and we're going to continue to push into that direction. So some people have took it as a bad, and some have took it as very good. So it's a bit of half and half, you know. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. You just all you got to do is just, you know, you brush it off and just keep going. And that's all you can do, you know, that's all you can do.
And there are going to be a lot of people that don't want to work with you no more. And you just have to look on it as it's their loss. It's their loss. And, you know, we all make mistakes. I, you know, even took the wrong turn today. Sorry, next to a criminal lawyer. But I took the wrong turn today. And I had to drive all the way back around again. And, you know, I could have actually done a U-turn and went down a one-way. But I didn't. I didn't do that. But what I'm trying to say is we all make mistakes, and it's just how you deal with it. So, you know, will you ever be back in this situation again, Chris?
Oh, no, 100%. No, because like I said, I see the big picture now. I see my worth. I've even wrote my business plan. I know where I'm going. You know, even you're teaching me about the Forex trading, that's got me motivated to invest into that. And things with property, rent to rent. People that are doing well and doing things clean are like, I want to be in that circle and getting to know them, like, and elevate myself in the right way. So definitely, yeah.
And I feel like, you know, as we have Vinay here, I'll get his card, so you've got his practice as well. So, you know, if you know anybody else who's going down the wrong road, needs some cover, needs somebody to really, you know, have their back. And as you can see, Vinay, he's very mutual. He's very susceptible to listening and giving you his advice. And, you know, today probably would be, you know, a good couple of £1,000. I'm telling you, it's big in the game.
Yes. No, I'm inspired by what he's done, what he's achieved
with his wife, you know.
Yes, I know, and I was listening to the whole interview, and I was just like, whoa, you know, it would be good to know more about you and get into circle and elevate to that next level, because that's where what you're achieving is where I want to be going. So you know, so like seeing you, I was like, okay, I was inspired by what you were telling me and stuff like that.
I'm inspired by you because what you've gone through, Chris, is not easy. And you know what, let me just share this one little quick story. It just came to my, I actually forgot about this to me. And they were sitting there with somebody and they were talking about a fraud in a bank. Wow. And the person who's close to me, is older than me, I didn't have influence over, but they were going to do something. And I'm sitting there thinking, it was in a pub, and I'm like, what am I doing here? And I was like, I'm not going to do, you know, I was broke, by the way, but no money. I drove, you know, them down here. And I was thinking, I'm here and I was only there out of love for the person I was with. Otherwise, I would not be there. And it just goes back to what your question was, Sebrina. How can you be, you know, and maybe you're susceptible for different reasons. Like you said, Chris, it was different things going on. You know, and thank God I didn't, but it's very easily done. It's out there, isn't it? It is out there.
It's very easily done, and that's when it comes back to what you said, Vinay. Your environment is everything. Always go for the professionals, because I just strongly believe that, you know, if you're around the right people who's